as should we change the name from Wheel of Time to Woke of Time? Or is it not woke enough?
I mean, what is, so we're doing this again. It's very initial. It's almost like premonitions, like a foretelling, friends. A foretelling. Already seen just a trickling of this. A
Yeah,
trickling.
let me
Go
just
ahead.
say, go back and listen to like a lot of the episodes I was saying. I said get ready because this will happen. Did I
Mhm.
not? Did I tried to warn
Yeah.
everybody. I said I guarantee you this will happen. When this show comes out, there is going to be a subdivision of people complaining about the wokeness or lack thereof of the show, and I don't think it's because people have actually, read the books or know what they're talking about, right? The show starts out and the trailer comes out and they're talking about how it's the women's power and it's so important and all of these things. And then the show starts and we have Leandrin saying, hey, this is a
Mhm.
woman's power and only we're meant to use it. And then we see the women attacking the Trolloc, right? The women's circle. So now you have one group of fans saying, oh, this show just perpetuates, it just pushes forward women. And it's this, they're saying this show is not is too liberal and it's too woke for just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Now, again, just wait, because in about a season or two, you're going to have people on the other side freaking out because they're going to realize that the most powerful character in a show is a white man. And it's going to be, oh, here we go, white male savior complex. And there's going to be this
Yeah.
clashing forward. So is it woke or is it not woke enough?
Man, here's the thing. I think when you make this show and you've read the book series, and if you're these guys who are in the writer's room, you're Rafe, and you're looking at this, you're saying, you either are, I mean, you just adapt the story, right? And you almost have to, I'm sure they thought about these things and things we're talking
Right.
about, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? One way or the other. But what you do is you just do the story. You just adapt Robert Jordan's original, like his story, bring it to life. And inside of that is this kind of back and forth, this ebb and flow of balance, and the one power that is shared, right? There are
Right.
two halves to it, and that it is actually the one power, and those powers working together, that moves the wheel of time. And it's like right now we're seeing it at an age, and we're seeing it at a time where it's out of balance, right? Things are out of balance, and it will move there. My problem with most of the comments or people who click in here, and the problem is these people haven't seen. They have not seen. There's an issue, I think, that goes on when people review and look at media, and they try to. They don't look at the full story. They see one thing that they think was inserted for a political reason or what have you, or yada yada, and they just out. They kind of give up on it. And I just say, watch the whole thing. These are just artists. These are writers.
Right.
These are people trying to bring a
The,
story with
you're
lessons.
take
And
right. You're taking something out of context.
yeah,
You're taking it out of context. No, that's not to say that that's not to say that it won't continue down that path. We don't know. It's not the
yeah,
show is we're 3 episodes in to a probably eight. If it runs long enough to do it, 8 season show, right?
mhm,
8 to 10. I mean, it could go 10, it could go 14 for all we know, right?
yeah,
We don't know. It's not there yet. It's we know we're getting at least 3 seasons. That's what we know. We
yeah.
know we're getting 3 seasons. You haven't even the first season that we're only three. You haven't even finished the first season yet.
Yeah. One of the best scenes you can go to that I thought really highlighted the Saidar Saidin two halves of the power is Egwene and Rand having an argument. And here's exactly what happens, which Rand makes really good points and drives us. We're all going, yeah, yeah, Rand, right? That's a good point. Next thing you know, Egwene calls him out on 2 to 3 things. And we're like, oh,
Okay.
Egwene's got him there. You know what I mean? So like that's what this whole series is about. It's the women's circle, the village council, kind of at odds sometimes. They all end up doing what they need to do and what is right because they work together. And that is the whole point. The whole point in A Memory of Light, major spoilers here, is that it was about all of them. All of them. Robert Jordan drove that home all the way through. I thought he did. So that's where I'm at on it. And when people come into this and they want to get real nitpicky about this one thing, I'm
Well,
telling you,
sometimes you're
back.
just looking to dislike something for the sake of disliking it.
Sure. Sure they are. And I know some people are just overly critical. It actually takes me a long time to kind of, I'm a person who errs on the side of seeing more positive than I do negative, really. And so, I'm also a fanboy. I completely love this
So we do.
series. Like
Everybody does it. Everybody does it in a lot of things, right? As
yeah,
you're a Bengals fan, I'm a Steelers fan. All right.
let's go.
When we see our teams play each other, we have two very opposing views on how it is that the game went. And
Yeah.
for me, hey, that's a terrible call, and Ez says
Right.
that was a great call.
You
And
kidding
that's
me? His hands were
that's
all
just how
over him. Are you kidding?
that's just how it
Yeah.
goes sometimes when
Right.
when you go into something with sort of biasness and all of these other things, and you want it to be a certain way, and sometimes, hey, I think it's a great adaptation of a book series so far. Again, we're 3 episodes in. Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Pump the
Enjoy it.
brakes and see how season 1 unfolds. And if it's too woke or not woke enough by the end of season 1, okay, I'll admit if that's the case.
Sure.
But
Yes.
we're not even there yet.
Not even there. Right now, these are just awesome people. Like you look at Rand, Matt, Perrin, Egwene, and Nynaeve. You can find people. And what I did when I read the book series is I could think of people in my life who were like that. And Robert Jordan's a person who did that. He wanted this to feel more real than Lord of the Rings. He wanted to feel like something that we could look around and see these type of people or see these factions in our society and really just kind of play with it a little bit and then see them work together.
Yeah. Some TV shows don't even come into their own until season 2, right? Go watch The Office season 1 and go watch The Office season 2, and they are the difference in quality, storylines, writing, everything is so drastically different. It's like that's like one of the best shows of all time, and it doesn't even hit its stride until season 2.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I say again, and you did point this out. It's just, and we want to mention it early because I do want folks to just go in and get kind of caught up in the story. Let them when you read a book, like let the author take you on these paths where like just follow their arc and get behind a character. Some people have favorite characters, and here's something too. If your favorite character was Perrin or Egwene or whoever, you're biased a little bit in that, right? Like you have your favorite, and so you want to see them do justice to your character, and you want to see your character get the most screen time or get, you don't want to see them change anything about that character. And so you get that with the book heavy people. But then outside of that is another faction that just
I hate Nynaeve, and my bias was confirmed. I hate her even more.
Holy
so I was like,
I love her.
Boom, you've confirmed my bias.
I love it. So that's the thing. You're allowed. That is the thing. I you know what? And so far, we on this channel, we have seen very respectful kind of back and forth comments about this, and I think that's a good thing. That's fine. People being cautious about it because I think people want to like this and they want to see this work. We live in the United States of America where great compromise is a thing, man. We have to work together with different people, different groups, the melting pot. Right? Robert Jordan wanted this to be like Tolkien did that for Britain, and he wanted something here that, you know what I mean? So I just feel like I love it. And I want it to be good and successful. And I want those folks to help it in a good way, in a good way that like frame your thoughts in a way that can help the showrunners and they get the feedback that's appropriate or whatever and get a sense of what's going on. But at the same time, they're going to do Robert Jordan's story. They're going to show you this back and forth between the women's circle, the men, the Aes Sedai, the Ashaman, and so on, all these different groups that will come together later on. It's just right now it's out of balance. That's the whole point. It is an out of balance show. And that's the hook is like, wait a second, what is up here? And then you got to stick it out. And if that's a turnoff for folks and you can't get past that, well, all right, we'll enjoy the story.
Absolutely. So all right, guys, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Right there here on YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast. However, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Stay tuned. We're coming back with a lot more stuff. And remember that the grave is no bar to our call.